Today, we're diving into the story of one of America's most powerful and unlikely evangelists. Okay, so picture this, a tent with 8,000 people inside and another 10,000 trying to listen from outside. And on stage, a woman stands totally frozen for 2 hours. Doctors couldn't snap her out of it. So who was this woman? Well, her story proves God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Maria's early life was just brutal. She was born into extreme poverty, and her alcoholic father died young. But at 13, everything changed. She had this dramatic conversion, followed by signs pointing to something big. But she fought the call for years. She was facing 3 huge roadblocks: being a woman, uneducated, and poor. So she figured getting married would get her out of it, a way to have a totally normal life. She had 6 kids, but her life was just filled with unimaginable grief. Tragically, 5 of them died from diseases like typhoid fever before they even grew up. Then, on her own deathbed, she finally gave in. She made a deal with God. Heal me and I'll preach. But even after she was healed, she stalled. God's response in a vision, though, that really shook her. It was another vision of a horrifying bottomless pit that finally snapped her out of her fear of man. Her ministry got known for something really strange: people falling into trances, seeing visions of heaven and hell. And you just couldn't argue with the results. A town of 500 people, and she draws a crowd of 25,000. Even newspapers started covering it. The reports were incredible. Blind people seeing, paralyzed people walking. Her power was put to the test in St. Louis. A lifeless little girl was laid right at her feet. Maria prayed, and minutes later, that girl was jumping, stomping, and preaching about Jesus to everyone. Next, she went to a place called Hell's Neighborhood, facing armed thugs who'd scared off every other preacher. She just looked them dead in the eye and told them God would strike them dead if they touched her. You could hear a pin drop. These hardened criminals, they became her personal bodyguards for months. So, what was her secret? It wasn't some special gift. It was what people called the secret place. They called her the grandmother of Pentecost. Her power came from one source. She spent entire nights in prayer. She buried 2 husbands and all 6 of her kids. But through it all, she never quit, preaching for over 40 years. Maria's life shows what God can do with a broken person. It kind of leaves us with just one question, doesn't it?